Hello and welcome. I am a writer with social anxiety disorder, and I've created this series to help writers develop characters beyond just surface level. So with my own personal experiences and some research, the goal is to help you write complex characters with SAD. Although I'm addressing SAD in this video, this advice can translate to just about anything. Before we continue, SAD is an intense anxiety or fear of being judged, negatively evaluated, or rejected in a social situation. Social anxiety disorder can wreak havoc on the lives of those who suffer with it. So, without further ado, my biggest advice is to not feed your readers the information. So you're probably confused. How will the reader know your character has this important disorder if you don't tell them? I mean, the fact they have this disorder must be pretty important if you're taking the time to develop not just your character, but also a full-fledged disorder too. But you'll do this to show them rather than tell them. We can forget just how smart our readers really are, and no one likes to be hand-fed information, like we're too dense to understand it or connect the dots. I know we writers can get in our own way and worry about the reader not understanding our character's actions right off the bat. To clear up questionable or odd behavior, it can be super tempting to say, hey, but wait, this makes sense because this character has social anxiety or bipolar or whatever this character might be dealing with. But that takes away the reader's ability to connect any information that might follow. I promise you, your readers will catch on if you give them the opportunity. Imagine your character stands up their date and never contacts them in the beginning of the story. So there's this date sitting at the restaurant waiting, hurt and annoyed, maybe even a little embarrassed. Your reader will likely dislike the behavior and may even judge your character, but the more they read and the more they learn this isn't a one-time deal, and that each and every time this happens, they begin to notice all the emotional angst and symptoms your character goes through, it'll click. Ah, they have anxiety, or this is why they do this. Without even having to make the effort, the reader is going to connect their findings with their earlier opinions of your characters. Maybe they thought he or she was a jerk for standing up their date. Now they have some understanding. Maybe they feel like a jerk themselves for misjudging your character, which in turn makes them feel for your character. Isn't that the whole point of sharing our stories with others? To help connect readers to our characters? To evoke emotions, whether they be sad or happy? So remember, spoon feeding doesn't garner sympathy. My second piece of advice is to walk the walk, forget the talk. So basically this is all about show and tell also, but let me explain. It can be very easy to label your characters, but actually developing their behavior, showing patterns they follow during specific experiences, can really drive home the point with more impact rather than stating their disorder. Which has more impact when I say it? I have social anxiety disorder. Or, sometimes during conversations, I want to join in, but I can't. It's like I've lost the ability to open my mouth, and even if I manage to, I have no voice. The first example simply tells you something in a vague overall sense, where the second gives you an idea of what that disorder entails. As someone with social and generalized anxiety disorder, it can be frustrating when people assume how it is for someone with anxiety. And that's because society has these predisposed ideas of what it is. There are so many different ways anxiety can manifest in people. I urge you to not fall into the cookie-cutter mold of what it's like to have this disorder. Be original and true to your character and their disorder, because it's going to be an individualized thing no matter what you're writing about. Lastly, I'm calling this, but if you must. If you must mention the disorder your character has, for whatever reason, do it briefly. Again, your readers are going to muster up whatever they believe social anxiety is. I truly feel it's a disservice to yourself as a writer to give up such a huge component of your character to someone unable to know them in the way that you do. In many ways, we're able to sway the reader's opinion of our characters by what we choose to share and withhold, or the way we divulge the information even. Don't give up your power for the sake of making it easier. I hope this in some way was helpful to anyone writing characters with SAD. So to recap, in short, don't spoon feed your readers, screw labels, it's all about the actions, and if you must tell, do it briefly. I truly appreciate your guys' time. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing because there will be future videos in this series coming soon.